as first-time entrepreneurs, it's important to know that don't think you can do everything yourself. I truly feel that uh, teamwork is going to make the dream work. And if you have a dream, make sure you share it with as many people as possible and try to attract team members, because you need them throughout your journey. And it's a common fallacy to think कि हाँ मैं सब कुछ कर लूँगा. And it's great, to have that level of grit and determination, but it's not going to sustain for very long. So you need partners in your journey. Even if you're a solo founder or you have a couple of co-founders, you need a good set of team to be able to pursue the actions needed to make your dream come to life. So as first-time entrepreneurs, don't fail to, get people on board and constantly keep trying that. I read somewhere that almost 40% of the CEO's time is going into team building and organization building and hiring. And even if you don't have the capital, get someone excited, get a freelancer to work with you for some time, for a few hours a week. Get a professor to, sort of advise you for a few 3 hours a week. Get as many people onboarded as you can. Make the ship a little bit more populated and then sail out. Because as you keep sailing, you don't want to be alone in the sea just by yourself. You need the crew.
One of the things that you shared, and I think this was something that you shared across multiple questions, is keep sharing your ideas. Keep talking to other people about your ideas. One of the biggest inhibitions that I've seen people have in sharing their ideas is the fear of those ideas getting stolen. Right? I'd love to know what your opinion is in context of that.
So I think it initially seems like a valid concern, and I would be lying if I say that I wasn't guilty of it either. But eventually I think once you start executing, you realize execution and strategy are very key. And I think you'll always find people working on the same idea, but the way and I think most of you have always heard the Facebook story. So the way Facebook turned out, or the way even WhatsApp turned out, WhatsApp wasn't the only cross-platform messenger out there. I think there were a lot of other platforms that were doing pretty well, but eventually it comes down to the level of execution and the quality of execution that you bring. So let's look at it the other way. Let's look at what's the harm of sharing your idea, right? And let's look at the benefits of sharing that. The harm is that, let's say, okay, someone gets an idea, and if they execute it better, they're anyways going to do it better. They're going to win in that space, right? And you will have to carve out a niche for yourself. But what's more important is that if you share and if that idea excites, then you'll potentially have someone on board who can really add value to your life. So if we've seen the social network movie before, and I take Facebook's example more often because it's more relatable to all of us. And I think we are using some of their platforms in our daily life. If you look at the social network example, he had Sean Parker was someone from the Valley who came in and sort of helped him structure, helped him raise investments and all of that. So you'll have people come and you'll need help along the way, and you can't do it yourself. So I think the upside of sharing your idea is much more than the downside. And sure, if you have something that you want to protect via an IP, you might want to do that first. But beyond that, I think it's 10% idea, 90% execution. And that does not change for any industry. Maybe for pharma, it might change a bit, or for a few IP related where you really need to protect the idea that you need. You might want to get protection for those first, but beyond that is really what you do on the ground. So Nikhar, I think, like even shows like Shark Tank, for example, sort of push that message across, that even if you are pre-revenue, which means that your company hasn't started really making money yet, it's important to sort of share that, because you'll find, if not investors, I think there are hundreds of people watching the show and hundreds of thousands of people actually watching the show. So you might actually end up finding customers, people will reach out to you. I don't think there is anything, any sort of satisfaction that you get from people reaching out to you, telling that I want to be a part of this, let me be your customer. And I think getting a message across from day one to me was very important. I think it's always helped me in my journey. But even if you do that, but you need to do that in the early days, because otherwise, like I said, the upside is much more than the downside. And I do truly feel that that's really important.